Hey people, welcome back to my channel. Today we will have a video a little bit different from my other videos, and that's because I'm going to talk about the Nintendo Switch 2 review trailer. Likely you already know about it, and you probably have watched the Nintendo review trailer and many other analysis videos from other YouTube channels. But I'm not here to do a deep analysis or deep dive into the trailer's details. I will just throw out there some of my thoughts and opinions. So we have finally seen the Switch 2 and some were a bit underwhelmed by the review trailer. My question to you is, were you underwhelmed by the review trailer or by the console itself? And that's an important question because I do agree that the review trailer was a little bit underwhelming. I was really expecting more from the trailer, maybe a few more pics on games playing on the system, especially some visually impressive games like Final Fantasy VII Remake or Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. I did enjoy seeing the new Mario Kart though, which I will talk more about later. But anyways, some people said they were underwhelmed with the console itself, which I gotta say, if you are that person, I really don't get you. And here's why. I think we all knew and wanted just a better, bigger and nicer Nintendo Switch. And I believe I speak for the majority here. After all, this is an evolution of the Nintendo Switch and no one was expecting a revolution. If you don't know the difference between evolution and revolution, just Google it. With the OG Switch, Nintendo had an incredibly successful run. Nintendo did not need to reinvent the wheel now. If you remember, the GameCube was a sales failure for Nintendo back in the day, and at that point, Nintendo really needed to reinvent the wheel and try something different to get the attention from the consumer, and that's why the Wii was made. It came from the necessity of revolutionize the formula. With the Switch, Nintendo doesn't need to change the formula. They have a winning formula. Why would they even try to do that? Another example is the Wii to Wii U. Nintendo had a winning formula with the Wii. They didn't need to revolutionize again. If Nintendo had made the Wii 2 instead, with some upgrades, better controls, better graphics, more power and HD, maybe they would have not experienced the failure of the Wii U. Then, from Wii U to Switch, Nintendo needed to change the formula again, and Nintendo did it with the Switch. So, in other words, why make a change on a winning team? I also believe that a lot of people had their hype diminished by the overwhelming amount of leaks containing images and information about the Switch 2. I think that the leaks really affected people's thoughts about the new hardware. In any case, I do think the trailer was a little bit underwhelming, but it's a great deal that we are getting a bigger and more powerful Nintendo Switch, and I'm really excited about it. Now, about the review timing, I do think Nintendo waited way too long to review the Switch 2. I think Nintendo should have dropped this review trailer last year. I do. Waiting this long to review the trailer just damaged the hype and the review itself. It only gave a bigger window for leaks, which no company really wants such thing to happen. But here it is, and we have finally seen how the Switch 2 looks. Now, about the design of the Switch 2, again, some people were not happy with it, but honestly, I'm really happy with it. I do think it looks good. It looks so good, looks sleek and premium, it definitely looks like a modern piece of hardware. The color accents are very nice and the body of the tablet and the JOYCONS seems to have a powder coating sort of finish. Also, there is no more gaps between the JOYCONS and the tablet, giving that unibody look and feel to it. I mean, I have no other words for it other than sleek. I love it, honestly. I wouldn't have it any other way. We don't know much about the screen yet, but it's definitely bigger than the Switch OLED screen, which is about 7 inch. So I imagine the Switch 2 screen would be around 8 inch, and we still don't know if it's an LCD or an OLED panel. I would guess it's an LCD panel, which would allow Nintendo to have a more cost-effective hardware at least for the first years of the system. Price is very important and that can drive sales. Also, it just gives Nintendo the opportunity to release an OLED revision in a few years, just like with the OG Switch. The Joy-Cons 2 keep the form factor of the OG Joy-Cons, which again was expected. They are bigger, rounder on the corners, and instead of using sliding rails, it uses magnets in order to attach to the Switch 2 tablet. Some people were a bit scared about it, afraid of it being a fail point of the system, but I believe it to be a really big improvement. The rails of the OG Switch were so much more fragile. People would insert their Joy-Cons the wrong way and damage the rails would get flimsy after a few months of use, and so many other use-inflicted damages to the system. The magnet system will probably make it very sturdy and resistant, in my opinion. At the end of the day, it all depends on the user. There are people who take care of their electronics, and some people who trash them. It's just how it is. But something it's still a secret. The Plus Joy-Con 2 have a new button under the home button. From the leaks, we can observe the letter C imprinted on that button. For some reason, Nintendo left that button blank on the render shown to us in that trailer. Some are speculating the button to be a quick access to a chat functionality, or maybe a cast button. I have a theory that the C button could be a cursor mode for when the Switch 2 is in handheld mode, modifying the right analog stick to mouse cursor, and then a mouse pointer would appear on the screen. But that's just my thought on it. I haven't seen anybody else thinking the same as me. While I'm talking about the mouse function, this was also hinted on the trailer. It was shown on the trailer the Joy-Cons 2 getting attached to the new wrist straps and sliding around almost like racing on a tabletop. Also, in one of the shots, we can clearly see the mouse sensor present on the Joy-Con 2. I don't have much to say about it other than it's cool, it's okay. It's a non-intrusive feature and not every game needs to use it. Some games could use this function to improve the experience, like point and click games or maybe a new Mario Maker. Like I said, it's a non-intrusive feature, just like the IR sensor on the OG Switch Joy-Con. Now, let's talk about specs. I don't understand much about technical specifications, but as far as my knowledge goes, I believe that it is a great evolution from the OG Switch, in terms of raw power at least. Some say it equals to a PlayStation form in terms of raw power, but we cannot forget that Nintendo is leveraging visual fidelity with the use of AI upscaling like DLSS. Apparently, it is a proprietary form of the DLSS. So with all that in mind, we might have it here something closer to a PlayStation 4 Pro. We just need to wait and see how it is going to be. In any way, I'm still pretty confident that it will be a pretty capable device. Something else we can take in consideration when talking about the Switch 2 power are the games that are being rumored to launch with or within the first year of the system. Some of the games mentioned are Starfield, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Final Fantasy XVI, Metal Gear Delta, and other visually impressive games, which honestly is a good thing and give us a little insight of how powerful the machine really is. Since we're talking about games, Nintendo also officially confirmed backwards compatibility with the OG Switch physical and digital games. And again, that's great news for us. I want to be able to play my OG Switch games on the new Switch. And honestly, I never doubted that Nintendo would have the Switch 2 backwards compatible. Just like the 3DS was backwards compatible with DS games. It just makes sense. Now, it was also stated that some games won't be fully compatible with the new system, which honestly is expected. Every new system release that supports backwards compatibility won't support 100% of the games released on the previous generation. That goes for Xbox and PlayStation consoles as well. The statement made on the video, in my opinion, is regarding two games that use special features that were only present on the OG Switch, like the IR sensor on the OG Joy-Con. Examples like 1-2 Switch and Ring Fit Adventure uses that specific feature. That doesn't mean you won't be able to sync your OG Joy-Con and play those games on the Switch 2. That might be possible. Nintendo needs to have those statements for legal reasons. The Switch 2 out of the box won't be able to fully support those kinds of games, but that doesn't mean that it won't work in case you already have the OG Joy-Cons. We will see, I guess. Also, there's the Labo stuff, which is not even fully compatible with the Switch Lite or even the Switch OLED because of the actual physical size of those devices compared to the OG Switch. Like I said, not even the Switch Lite supports all the OG Switch games. You can't use IR sensor games with the Switch Lite. It appears to me that some people are just blowing this statement out of the water for no reason. In any case, we have only seen one game playing on the Switch 2, the new Mario Kart. Again, some people were not impressed with the game. I honestly thought it was really cool and I got excited right away. The game displays another level of artwork. The expressions the characters make when hitting a bump or making a turn. Even the car itself squashes and stretches with the characters. Very cartoony, I really like it. I think Nintendo used the movie Cars from Disney as its inspiration for that. If you have watched the movie Cars, you know that the cars themselves are the characters and that they have a lot of expression in that movie. The track itself looks huge and the drawing distances as well. It has a lot of potential, I really enjoyed what I saw there. Now, one of the biggest controversies is the actual name of the system. A lot of people were saying that the name is just too common, that Nintendo lost their magic or whatever. I think this sort of statement is just plain dumb. The name of a product is very important, but what is really important is the message that the name is trying to convey. In this case, it's clear that Nintendo wants the consumers to be sure that this is the new Switch. It's not a version of it, it's the new, bigger and better Switch. At this point in society, consumers are used to seeing numbers next to the product names, signifying a successor to something they already knew and liked. Examples like PlayStation or iPhone, Samsung Galaxy line, etc. So many examples I could use. Numbers are just simple to understand and it's very effective in communicating what it needs to be communicated. So again, I think Nintendo is on the right track here with the name Nintendo Switch 2. Now, regarding the release date for this device is still a mystery. We still don't know when it will be released and when pre-orders will go live. We do know that Nintendo will host a special Nintendo Direct about the Switch 2 on April 2nd. In that case, we can safely guess that the price and release dates will be revealed in that presentation. Some analysts are predicting the price to be around $400 and the release date will most likely be sometime in June. But that's it, basically this is all we know about the Switch 2 at the moment. A lot of things are still kind of a mystery and that in itself is very exciting. I'm really excited for the Nintendo Switch 2 and I honestly cannot wait to get one and play the new games. It will be so much fun to start a brand new generation of Nintendo console. So many things are possible with the power of the new hardware. I also think that the system looks amazing. I just cannot wait. Now, what do you guys think about the Switch 2? Do you guys agree with me or do you have a different views on some of these topics? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, this is the first video I use my own voice for a voiceover. I was using AI generated voiceover just because I was born in a foreign country and I have a really thick accent. My goal is to provide the best content I can, so let me know in the comment section if you guys prefer AI generated voiceover or my own voice with my accent. Thanks so much for watching my video and please consider subscribing for more. Bye bye, see you on the next one.